Good morning. We're here today with Martin Baum, the founder of My Management Accountant. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Andrew.
Can you please introduce yourself and the company?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Martin Baum, founder of a business called My Management Accountant. We have been in business since the start of 2009. We are a digital accountancy business, so providing accountancy services, tax services, and business advisory services, primarily to owner-managed businesses across the region and nationwide. So yeah, that's who I am, who we are. So our business, like I said, started in 2009. It was myself. My background is industry. I'd always worked. I'm a SEMA qualified accountant. So I'd always worked in industry, whether owner managed businesses or larger companies, actually. And I identified a need almost 2 decades ago of a service to provide it to business owners of accountants that were able to go in, support a business, businesses that weren't able to employ a finance director or full finance department team. I identified the need of a service where we go in and provide that kind of services to businesses and organizations. And that's what we do. We've a team now of 13 people. We've grown over time, but our team is predominantly made up of individuals that have worked in an accountancy practice. I've never worked in an accountancy practice until I set one up. We've got individuals that have worked in an accountancy practices, but have all, at one time or another, with the exception of our apprentices who have come straight from school, everybody's worked within industry and within owner-managed businesses.
Fantastic. So can you please tell us about how accountancy has evolved throughout the years, and especially during the pandemic?
Well, I'd have to say that certainly since I set the business up and started working for myself in 2009, the major change has been the shift to being on the cloud and using digital tools, digital accountancy software, and then different products around the outside that we use with our clients, or to do tasks, automate tasks that would historically have been manually done within businesses. So a really good example of that is purchase ledger, supplier invoices, dealing with supplier invoices. We don't sit there as we used to at one time and key in lots of supplier invoices on any of our clients. We use a tool that will auto scan those invoices and post them into the accountancy software of our clients. We then spend our time more valuably, firstly making sure that they've been dealt with correctly by the software, but then freeing up our time to analysing what that data is telling us. Wow. So the major shift certainly over the last 11 or 12 years since I've been doing this has been that push to work with businesses and get businesses working online. And that's what we do, help businesses get online, drive efficiencies, and then spend our time more valuably with the business owners and people within the businesses working out what's actually going on, having those discussions around their business. I guess for us, what the pandemic did, people asked me at the end of the pandemic, if you could sum up 2020 in one word, what would it be? And for us, it was kind of to verify our business model and underline what we did. So we went into lockdown as a business. We went to be remote based very early on. We left our office kind of mid-March, 10 days, 2 weeks before we were asked to do by the government. We did that primarily to get ahead. I could see what was happening, so I wanted to get ahead, make sure all of our systems worked at home. But we had no stress around what we were doing with paperwork, what we were doing with anything, because we didn't have any. We were working on the cloud. It was just we're moving from one office to another. Business continuity without really planning for business continuity. We were done. And I guess as we went into that lockdown period, certainly the first one, when there was so much uncertainty going on in the economy and just in local businesses, the stress of running a business at that time, suddenly our clients who hadn't really I thought, given much thought to how they were working and how we were working with them, suddenly realized that this is working really well now, because I'm at home, they're at home, but we're still continuing to do what we were doing. So that was that's been the major change over the last decade for us. And for us, cloud accountancy is not something new. I've been working on the cloud since 2010. I spent 1 year working not on the cloud in my first year of business and knew it wasn't the way that I could work with my clients or for my own business. And so this has been something we've been doing for a decade or more. And then the pandemic was just, like I said, it just kind of was the full stop to prove that how we were working was the right way to work.
Fantastic. Well, can you take us through some of your services, please?
Yeah, of course. So at the core, we're an accountancy business. So we would do what you would expect an account. You would go to your accountancy accountants to do. So year-end accounts, tax returns, VAT returns, all of those tasks that you would expect your accountant to complete for you to keep you compliant, keep your business compliant. But as I said, our team, our business doesn't look like a traditional firm of accountants in that our team looks more like the finance department within a business. So we have a client credit controller. We do white label credit control for businesses. We're not debt collection, it's just nice credit control, but we do it in the name of our clients. Whoever wants credit control, we set up dedicated lines. We operate on their email address, and we just speak nicely to their customers and make sure that money's coming in. Client payroll. So we have a client payroll team of 2 at the moment. Our payroll team work really well, just taking that stress away from business owners in terms of business owners are payroll experts. They don't need the grief of pulling together their own payrolls. They don't need the hassle of making payments. So we do that full end-to-end payroll service for them, deal with the pension companies, make sure that the pension filings are done on a monthly basis. And then cutting across to our finance team, our accountants, if you like, we have specialist client tax advisor. So that was something that changed for us over lockdown. We actually had previously worked with other firms of accountants, and we still do work a lot with other firms of accountants. We used to previously work with and still do actually, but a tax accountant who wasn't part of our business. We have a client tax accountant now in our company who gives much more. I'm not a tax expert. That's not I'm a management accountant. That's my bag. A management accountant is my background. I'm not a tax accountant. So to do R&D tax returns, particularly R&D tax claims, we're doing a lot now with businesses, whether they're accounting clients of ours or whether they're clients that are referred into us. And then, like I said, the core accounting team, we will do everything from bookkeeping. So we, across our client base, will typically do the bookkeeping for the majority of our clients. And we do that using our add-on services to Xero. So with Xero Gold Partners, we use QuickBooks, we use Xero. As long as clients want to be on the cloud, then we can work with them. And so we will do the bookkeeping for them, and then right through that journey to say, right, bookkeeping, we can turn that into the VAT return. We then turn it into monthly management accounts. We'll prepare monthly management accounts with our client finance managers. And then crucially, what businesses receive from us is they don't just receive a set of management accounts and say, we'll be back next month to do the next set. We receive the management accounts and then we speak to them and talk to our clients and go through every month and say, so our larger clients who will always have management accounts will have that discussion with us. We'll ask them questions, they'll ask us questions. We get to know what's happening in the business, what the challenges are, what the stresses are, which often are not, more often than not, are financial. The finances tell the story of what is going on in the business, and it's our job to find out what that story is and then to help and support businesses through that.
Absolutely. I think liaising directly with a client is fundamental.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the way that we work with a client, as much as we're digital, there's a misconception that because we're digital and we work online, we don't see clients, and it is absolutely not the case. We spend a lot of time with our clients, either face-to-face, on Zoom, Teams, whatever it might be. Digitally and working online means that we've got shared data and we've got driven efficiencies is how we work. We spend a lot of time talking to our clients and going out and like I said, just finding out what their pinch points are, what their stress points are, how we can help them through that. And so we have a range of clients. So we'll have some clients that literally just want compliance. That's who they are. That's their size. And they're quite happy doing that. Through to larger businesses, organizations who, multi-million-pound revenues, and they know that they need the full service, right from bookkeeping through to monthly management accounting meetings and quite often board representation.
Yeah, I believe that's quite important. And I think it's very interesting what you are offering. It's a kind of an outsourced financial department.
Correct. Yeah, it is. We don't say outsource. We say we're the in-house finance team, but it's exactly that. Exactly, it is we are an outsourced team. Yeah, absolutely. So businesses, typically, an owner-managed business doesn't want to go out and if they get a finance director, then the finance director will want different people within that team because the FD is not getting paid to do the work, quite rightly. So we have those skills across our team, and so as businesses want more services from us, or some ad hoc services, it might be they want just a 3-year plan pulling together, or they want ongoing management accounts, or recently we've helped businesses with their investment deals. We can help people, like I say, R&D tax claims, speculative payroll conversations, whatever it might be. Then we've got that skill set across our team to be able to provide that service to businesses.
So now you started in 2010, and you have grown a lot, and so that pretty much speaks for itself that you're doing a damn good job. So are you currently recruiting, or are there any roles that interest you to fill in the gaps?
We are, yes. So I'll go back to the team, actually. So it was myself, started at the start of 2009, and until 2013, it was just me.
Okay.
Just me on my own. In 2013, I realised actually I do need some help, but then it grew from there very quickly. So that help bringing in, and I'd always wanted a business. I'd always wanted to grow I'd always wanted to grow a business. I didn't want to be a kind of a sole trader accountant, just generating an income. So from 2013, we've just grown nice and steadily, up until actually the start of 2020. And we had a little bit of churn during 2020. A couple of people left and chose to go elsewhere. We actually recruited quite a few. So our mix of people within the team has changed quite a lot over lockdown. We still have a lot of people who have been with us a long time, which is great. But we are looking to recruit now. I'm always interested in conversations with people that maybe just have noticed our company, like the sound of our company, the way that our business operates. We attract conversations with accountants that are like ourselves, so people that are in industry, more commercially focused because they're in industry. But we also have conversations with accountants that are in practice because we're an accountancy practice. So we have regular conversations with lots of people, and I think we've done a lot of work on our culture and our values. So as much as looking at people's technical skills, which is always really important for us, is to make sure that they also meet they fit in with us. People might not like our culture, and that's absolutely fine. People are different. So we have those conversations. I have to say, at this moment in time, we're specifically looking for somebody to join our payroll team. So our payroll services is growing rapidly. We're attracting more clients, more prospects are talking to us about their payroll needs. So somebody to join our payroll team would be great. We are maybe on the search for our next trainee, our next apprentice to come into the business. So we start people in, bring them in, they start to train to do their AAT exams and then work their way through, and then hopefully go through their professional exams. And so we're at the point of thinking maybe we need to bring in our next apprentice. But I would say generally, Andrea, that where we're at is if people are genuinely interested in our business and have the right skill set, and as I say, have the right the same values and ethos that we have, kind of like our culture, and we like them and their thoughts, then we're always open to a conversation.
Fantastic. Well, Martin, it was a pleasure to talk to you today. Please, if you'd like to know more, please contact directly Martin at my management accountant website. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was great. Thank you.